Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. Lauryn Hill recently released a long statement addressing the media after she was criticized for disciplining her daughter Selah. Now Selah was on Instagram Live and she was venting about her upbringing. She talked about some of her own struggles and she also reflected on how her upbringing may have played a role in why she acts the way she does in her personal relationships. So she brought up the fact that her father Rohan wasn't always around. She also talked about how her parents would fight a lot when she was growing up, and she even talked about how she would feel traumatized when her mother would discipline her.
So when I was younger, my mother, just like her parents, she would spank us. Right? She was just very angry. She was very, very angry. She was so angry. She was literally unapproachable, not easy to talk to. And then half the time we didn't live with her. I was living with my grandparents half the time. And so she was just very angry. Yeah, she was just very angry. And so when we would get disciplined, it's crazy. I'm playing this trauma back in my head as I speak to you. She'd be like, go get the belt, right? That's how you know you're in trouble. Go get the belt. She would hold our hands like this, and we would just sit in circles as she beat us. It was literally just like that. Ooh, that actually just traumatized me. Hearing that sound, yo, that sound, bro. And then after that, it will be fix your face. Fix your face. Fix your face, right? So now you're sitting there mad as fuck. And then the threats, the constant threats, bro. Yo, the constant threats. And that's why, and now you want me to embarrass you? You want me to give you something to cry about? I'll embarrass, oh my God. No, man. The belt, bro. Oh my God. It's that slave shit. That was some slave shit they were on. All black parents on that shit. And then she was also so angry because at that same time, she's Lauryn Hill. So she's getting attacked by the media. She was getting attacked by the media. She was also going through her own shit. She had 5 kids with a man that they didn't really get to know each other, so they were always arguing, always fighting. So I didn't really see much peace, I didn't see much peace at all. No peace. But yeah, my mom changed. She's not like that anymore, actually. She actually changed. I'm very proud of her. I'm actually very proud of her. I'm very, very proud of her. Once I hit 6th grade, she finally calmed down, honestly. She was working it out through middle school, but honestly, she actually changed a lot. She really did. I'm actually very proud of her because it was sad to see, because it would be like her crying over my father, them not getting along, and so it was also that. It was the beatings coupled with the fucking hearing my parents argue at night, and like I would just be the only kid awake, just crying. I'd just be crying. Just crying. Just crying. That's all I knew how to do. I just had to cry. And I don't know if I fully blame her for that, but in the same sense, I don't think she realizes how much that shit affected me.
So that was Selah talking about her upbringing, and she was speaking on the discipline that she got from her mother. And I'll be honest, I don't think the discipline that she received was any different from what most of us went through when we were growing up. But I could imagine that the discipline that she received from Lauryn was more intense, considering that Lauryn was dealing with a lot in her life around that time. But Selah did say that Lauryn changed.
Me and my mother are very close. She's actually texting me as we speak. Like, I was actually with her today. Actually, my mom, like I said, she's doing way better, She's doing way better. Like, in the past 10 years, she's healed so much. I've just watched her change. I've watched her become a different person. I've watched her, evolve.
So this is what Selah said about her mother, but of course the media didn't post about this. They only posted the negative. And Lauryn did go on Instagram and she addressed the media. She said, black people, what? Selah has every right to express herself. I encourage it. But she has also got the discipline that black children get because we are held to a different standard. The discipline was seen through the lens of a young child who also had no place to reconcile me as a mom. And me as a larger-than-life public figure, it took me a while to realize that my children and probably everyone who knew me saw me in this duality. To me, I am just me. If I'm guilty of anything, it's disciplining in anger, not disciplining. The toxic venom I ingested for standing on principle and confronting systemic racism far before it was the thing to say or do, everything you now celebrate everyone for, the people who called me crazy and have yet to apologize and say, oh yeah, we were wrong. Of course that seeped into my home. It was intended to. An entire operation trying to break an artist with a voice and knowledge of herself way ahead of her time was in motion. I was affected. My family was affected. My children were affected. Selah and I speak often, and she knows we are both working through our stuff, the exploitation, the abandonment, the mistreatment, and the muzzling of our own gifts and intelligence to make it more comfortable for others, which is a big mistake to do. It can only lead to implosion or explosion. We're both learning and healing, and each of my children has a similar story and journey. All of you in a rush to crucify someone, careful who you string up or nail up. You might have an extremely limited view of the actual reality. We all hate abuse and exploitation. Sometimes in an effort to fight against it, we can easily become the abuser, the exploiter, and this is what we have to watch for. No one is exempt from needing to watch themselves in this way. And Lauryn Hill said a whole lot more in her statement, and I'm not going to read everything, but I will say this. I do think that Lauryn may have had some regrets in the way that she was parenting her children, but I don't think her intentions were to break her children down. She was young. She was dealing with a lot of pressure in the music industry because people wanted her to sell her soul, and she wouldn't. Also, she was dealing with her toxic relationship with Lauryn Marley, and that frustration did spill over on her children, and I think that's kind of what Selah was venting about. But unfortunately, the story blew up without people getting a full context of what she was saying. Selah wasn't trying to bash her parents. That wasn't her intention at all. Now, did she say some unflattering things? Yes, but that was a part of her own self-reflection and her honesty. She was going back to her childhood and she was trying to make sense of some of the things that may have affected her in her life. And she also addressed the reports that her father, Lauryn Marley, was a deadbeat. Now, she did say that he wasn't around and that did affect her, but she also defended him against the claims that he was a deadbeat father.
My dad just wasn't around, you know? And I just called him and I was just like, yo, where were you, bro? Like, where were you? You know, like, and then I called my mom and I was like, how come you and my dad didn't, like, try harder for each other if you had 5 kids together? And let me also clarify and say that my father is not a deadbeat, okay? That's not the case. I was just on the phone with him today, literally. Like, we talk. It's just that we have a strained relationship because of things that happened. And honestly, even when I look through the Shade Room comments, like, they weren't the worst. But I just don't like the fact that, don't take it and vilify my father, you know? Like, don't take it and vilify my mother. And one, not the first person to get spanked. 2, not the first person to have parents that don't stay together. Like, ultimately, a lot of it was about the fact that they just did not stay together. It wasn't about him not wanting to take care of his children. It was about the fact that they just were having, honestly, marital issues. And kids got caught in the crossfire. That happens a lot of the time. It happens very often. So, what are my mom's thoughts on the Ingram? Oh, I don't think she's actually seen that yet. And I'm sad that they took that, but she'll be all right. She'll be all right. She was actually angry a long time ago, you know? She, not angry, but the same way I'm talking about how I'm hurting. Like, she was hurting, you know? Like, she was fucking hurting. Why didn't I go? Because I actually enjoy talking to my live, and I'm actually a very transparent person, and I have been a therapist. But in the same sense, I like communicating my life. It just so happens that I'm a public figure and blah, blah, blah. Like, honestly, we're also human. You know what I mean? We're also human.
So that was what Selah had to say. Now tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.